'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house, not a creature was stirring, except the Halloween ghouls you forgot about. Hello and welcome to Halloween Haven, your source for all things Halloween. Witches and ghouls don't stop their haunting for Christmas, so you shouldn't have to either. That's why today I'm bringing you 10 ways you can add a little Halloween fright to your holy night. Be sure to click that subscribe button below to stay tuned to the channel for Halloween fun all year round. Now it's time to get into all the different ways you can celebrate Halloween on Christmas.
And we'll have Halloween on Christmas.
So throw on an ugly Halloween-y Christmas sweater and let's get into it. We're starting off right at the heart of Christmas with the Christmas tree itself. Sure, you may love your traditional tree with its deep green needles adorned with red and white decorations from head to toe, topped off with a glowing star. And there's nothing wrong with that. The standard Christmas tree is an iconic symbol of the holiday that's persisted for hundreds of years. But those of us who know that Christmas doesn't hold a flickering candle to Halloween may just want to reimagine this Christmas tradition and put our own spooky twist on it. So, if your goal is to sprinkle some scary into your merry this year, then consider going dark with your tree. Real dark, that is. That's right, we're talking about a black Christmas tree. It may be completely new and bizarre to some, but people have been setting up and decorating black trees for Halloween and Christmas for years. And with great success, I might add. For the arts and craftsy people out there, you could make your own, of course, with probably just a can of spray paint. But for everyone else, worry not. There are plenty of artificial black trees you can buy in all kinds of shapes, sizes, and designs. Now, just because you went with a black tree, it doesn't mean you have to give up the tradition of decorating your Christmas tree, and there's plenty of ways here to stir even more spook into the mix. First off, wrap your tree in Halloween-themed string lights to give it a unique orange and purple glow. Next up, hang some frightful ornaments to fill things out and throw some color and twinkle onto your black tree. And this gives you another chance to be craftsy if you want to make your own Halloween ornaments, or you could pick up some of the many Halloween ornaments already out there. Lastly, rather than topping it all off with a star, I encourage you to use your imagination and really get creative here. For me, I'm going with a small Christmas-themed jack-o'-lantern on top, but you might prefer to throw on a witch's hat instead. Let your imagination run wild. As if getting to celebrate Halloween a little bit for a second time this year wasn't enough, there's actually some unsung benefits to choosing to go with a trick-or-treat tree. First off, for those who prefer the natural tree route, you know what a pain it can be finding a perfect tree without bare spots or brown spots. Well, that's not a problem for a spooky tree. Let's just say that Halloween isn't as elitist as Christmas. Your tree's imperfections can shine through without judgment here. Also, and maybe the best part, you can set this tree up October 1st and comfortably leave it up for 3 months. If you decorate it right, you won't even need to do anything. No more hauling tons and tons of decorations in and out of storage from October to January. You can just set this tree up once and forget about it, freeing up more time to work on the other ideas on this list. Another winter tradition that's become associated with Christmas is the time-honored practice of building a snowman in your front yard. Frosty the Snowman has been immortalized as a Christmas icon by music and the 1969 animated TV special. Now, Frosty is a little too soft and fluffy for some Halloween revelers. Plus, not everyone is blessed with snow outside their home at Christmas time to work with. But worry not, there's a solution to this Christmas conundrum, and there's nothing stopping us from putting our own Halloween twist on Frosty. Enter the Pumpkin Snowman. A simple, creative solution for those who want to further Halloween-ify their Christmas, and for those who don't live through snowy winters. Just carve any holes needed, stack 3 pumpkins largest to smallest, and secure the pumpkin snowman using a pole or adhesive. And for those looking for a more classic look, or those who want to pretend they had Christmas snow to play with, paint the pumpkins white. But of course, leaving them their rich, beautiful orange is alright by me. And the rest is up to you. Another chance to be creative and really make your Halloween-y Christmas your own. Personally, I'd throw a classic carved jack-o'-lantern on the top of mine. The requisite pumpkins for this project may be harder to find at this time of year, but they may also be cheaper than at Halloween. And just like with the black tree, with a little bit of planning ahead, you could put together your pumpkin snowman and keep it in front of your house for 3 months. Maybe just throw a Santa's hat on the top of it after Thanksgiving. Once you've put the finishing touches on your pumpkin snowman, head inside for some well-deserved treats. The first entry on that list of treats has us keeping the pumpkin theme going all throughout the holidays, specifically with pumpkin eggnog. Now, eggnog is not everyone's cup of tea, pun intended, but perhaps the addition of the pumpkin spice flavor will sway a few people's opinion of the holiday beverage. The pumpkin eggnog idea is popularized enough to the point that you can simply pick it up at the store, But that's not in keeping with the holiday spirit and the tradition many have forged of coming together with their loved ones and baking and cooking during the holidays. And if you want to add brewing to that list, pumpkin eggnog isn't too complicated to whip up. There's a ton of recipes out there, but you'll need cream, milk, eggs, cinnamon syrup, ginger syrup, nutmeg, pumpkin puree, and some pumpkin spice. But check your recipe first, as there's some varying approaches out there. And at the end, I suggest stirring it all up with a Halloween candy cane to remind everyone which holiday you think is best. And maybe the best part about eggnog is how conducive it is to adding different kinds of alcohol. So if you're having trouble dealing with your in-laws this Christmas, throw some rum or bourbon in your mug of pumpkin eggnog and find your happy place dreaming of Halloween's past. Sticking in the kitchen for the next idea, it's time we reimagine the gingerbread man. A longtime staple of the Christmas treat rotation, the gingerbread cookie is the perfect blank slate upon which to paint a more Halloween-y picture. Once again, let your creative side out when it comes time to decorate these cookies. Grab some orange or purple icing and squeeze out some fangs, stitches, eye patches, and bones on them. Personally, I'd go with a horde of gingerbread zombies. While you're at it, every gingerbread man needs a home. And not just any gingerbread house will do for our Halloween-ify gingerbread men, so put together a haunted gingerbread house for them to live in. Until you tear it down and eat it, of course. Any haunted house will do. It doesn't need to be as professional or as detailed as these. Just make sure to take all the pictures you want before you devour that poor gingerbread ghoul's house, and the gingerbread ghoul himself. Speaking of eating things on Christmas, that brings us to our next idea for ways to Halloween-ify your Christmas, which is to welcome Krampus into your life. For those who don't know, Krampus is St. Nicholas's devilish enforcer. Half goat and half demon, Krampus is a darker Christmas figure from German folklore who feels more at home with Halloween legends than with St. Nick on peaceful winter nights. Lovingly referred to as Satan's little helper, he strictly enforced the terms of the naughty or nice list. St. Nicholas would deliver well-earned presents to nice children, whereas Krampus would deliver beatings with branches and sticks to the naughty. And if you were a particularly mischievous, misbehaving child, Krampus would sometimes stuff you in a sack to take you to hell. That is, of course, if he didn't eat you first. It all sounds pretty extreme for a Christmas tradition, but for us Halloween junkies, it's not that out of the ordinary. So embrace Krampus as part of your Christmas celebrations to give them an impish twist. While we're discussing the darker side of Christmas, another pervasive tradition is the Christmas music that plays non-stop pretty much from Thanksgiving to New Year. And I think these cheery tunes can afford to take on a little darker tone, and that's where Gothic Christmas songs come in. Yes, these are absolutely a thing, and there are tons of playlists out there on places like YouTube and Spotify. Many incorporate Gothic, darker tones into well-known Christmas tunes, and they're absolutely perfect to throw on in the background during the holidays, setting the mood for a more serious, old-world kind of Christmas. And of course, there are a number of great tunes that span both Halloween and Christmas to be found on the Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack, so make sure to work those into your playlist. And you knew when you clicked on this video that the Nightmare Before Christmas was going to show up somewhere on this list of ideas, as the movie spans both Halloween and Christmas. Well, it actually shows up twice. With the music, and here with the Halloween-ish movies you can get away with watching this Christmas. And obviously, it's the first movie you should work into your Christmas movie rotation. The Nightmare Before Christmas brings with it a great Halloween mood, and it sprinkles in just enough Christmas cheer to qualify as a Christmas movie. And of course, it brings with it quite a few Christmas tunes, and it just might give you some inspiration to help with your spooky Christmas decorations. Next up, we hope that you've gotten comfortable with Krampus already, because he's coming to your home in the form of his own Christmas horror comedy movie. That's right, the 2015 movie brought the German folklore Christmas demon goat to town where he terrorizes a family. And just in time for Christmas too. Snuggle up under a blanket and throw this flick on. Just don't freak out if you hear some claws scraping across your roof. And lastly, I'm going to throw The Shining in as a hybrid Halloween and Christmas movie. The horror elements definitely qualify the film as a Halloween movie, but there's some debate on whether or not The Shining can qualify for Christmas. In my view, if there's snow on the ground in the film, then it can be a Christmas movie. And plenty of people out there make their own claims as to why it counts as one. So put it on and walk the line between creepy and Christmassy. We're going back to the decorations with another idea that's easy to pull off, and that's adding some Halloween fear to your Christmas decorations. Or adding some Christmas cheer to your Halloween decorations. The ideas are really endless here. Throw a Santa's hat on that skeleton. Throw some fangs on those reindeer. Sling Santa's bag over the Grim Reaper's shoulder. Splash some blood on those snowmen. Maybe even set up an elf roasting over an open fire. Of course, you could also stage some, hopefully harmless, traps for Santa around the chimney. Even though he comes bearing gifts, Santa is an intruder nonetheless. At least throw some Santa's hats on your Halloween decorations or put up a Halloween wreath. Just pull out your box of Christmas decorations and your box of Halloween decorations and mix them all up and see what you can come up with. We all know that Christmas is a time of giving where all the surprises are pleasant ones. But for seasoned Halloween revelers, they'll see plenty of opportunities to slip some tricks in amongst all those treats. The Jack-in-the-Box is an obvious selection here, as it's both a trick and a treat. But don't forget other tricks and gags like wrapping up something tiny in a giant box or under 1,000 layers of wrapping paper, putting a gift in a misleading box, or freaking out your neighbors with a dummy hanging off of your roof. Now, I want to warn you against going too far. You don't exactly want to turn a Merry Christmas into a Scary Christmas. Just make sure to follow up every trick with an actual treat, or two depending on what trick you pulled, to take the sting out of things. While you're out there picking up those consoling treats for your friends and family, consider picking up some small gifts for an even larger group of people. And now we've made it to our last and most ambitious idea of the list, bringing trick-or-treating to Christmas Day. You wake up and it's Christmas morning. You rush downstairs, you exchange gifts, and open up everything St. Nick left under the tree. Now what? Dinner's not for another 8 hours. What are you gonna do all day beside play around with your gifts and get burnt out on them? I'm sure your family is great and all, but you don't need to be cooped up with them all day. So I propose we try and bring that community feeling so easily found on Halloween night to Christmas Day in the form of trick-or-treating for presents. Obviously, this is new territory as no one expects people to show up to their front door asking for presents on Christmas, so some assembly will be required with this one. Plan the festivities ahead with your neighborhood, with your community, your church group, your school, your close friends, whoever. If you want to participate but don't want to trudge through the cold, prepare for the occasion by loading up on cheap, small, fun gifts to hand out. If you go out to trick-or-treat, don't show up empty-handed. Bring treats or a Christmas carol or two. And of course, this new tradition doesn't have to be relegated to a children's activity. You're never too old to have some Halloween fun on Christmas. And if you can't make trick-or-treating for Christmas happen this year, consider putting the effort toward donating to charity, to toy drives, and to those in need. But if you are able to pull it off, dress up as a Christmas character or simply put on an ugly sweater and get out there and forge a new tradition with your community and keep the spirit of these two wonderful holidays alive. So there you have it. The moral of the story is the ghost of Christmas past doesn't have to be the only ghost that makes an appearance this December. Let your imagination run wild and sprinkle your love for Halloween all over your Christmas festivities. I want to give a big holly jolly thank you to everyone who joined me for this video, and I hope you found some inspiration here to keep the Halloween spirit alive under the big shadow cast by Christmas at this time of year. Let me know in the comments if you have any other ideas on how to celebrate Halloween on Christmas. Or let me know if you plan on incorporating any of the ideas here into your Christmas traditions. Please like the video if you liked it, as it helps our video reach more Halloween fans and fiends out there. Also, I'd love it if you would consider subscribing to the channel. I intend to keep the Halloween festivities going year-round on Halloween Haven, and I have a lot of ideas for videos. I'm going to continue adding to the Halloween history video series where I discuss the origins of different Halloween traditions like trick-or-treating and carving pumpkins. I'm also going to be starting the Monstrous Origins video series, where I cover the various legendary and mythical beasts and ghouls related to the holiday, starting with a video on the origins of werewolves. On top of those video series, I'm going to be doing more top 10s lists, scary stories, wild true Halloween stories, real-world Halloween events, and much, much more. So if you have any interest in that, stay tuned to the channel. Halloween Haven is still very new, so any support you can provide with your subscription to the channel or simply leaving a like on the video is greatly appreciated. Thank you again, Merry Christmas, and
Happy Halloween.